Our next item on the agenda is awards and recognition, and I will turn that over to Susan Elliott.
Right. Susan's our student today. So I'd like to introduce you to Susan Elliott. She is one of our students here, and she's actually one of our employees as well.
Thank you.
And so, Susan, we're so happy to have you with us here tonight.
Thank you for inviting me here tonight to share a bit about my student experiences. As Dr. Bound said, I'm employee here at the college, 10 years, and my dean and boss is sitting right here. So I'm going to try to do her proud here. I currently coordinate third-party billing and do revenue reporting for the continuing education side of the college. And this summer, I will graduate with a liberal arts associate degree, history emphasis. I'm very excited about that. I'm registered to begin classes this fall at UMKC. Hope to complete a history BA with a public history concentration. So tonight, I feel there are figuratively dozens of people standing around me here at the podium. I did not get to this place in my academic career alone. And as I share bits of my student experience, I'm going to be sharing thank yous to my helpers. In a regular college position, employee benefits have covered most tuition expenses for my degree. And that is a big blessing. I do not believe I would have been able to fund those expenses or been able to step away from my student time here with no educational debt. So my thanks go out to college administrations and trustee boards who valued education for their employees. I have experienced the professional and thorough way college staff cares for students and supports professors. I thank you, staff, for making campus a safe, I have someone right behind me keeping me safe, beautiful and comfortable place to work and study. I would like to give a shout out to my classmates. I value and will take with me memories of the fun, rich sharing of perspectives and how we all learned that hopes and dreams can be ageless. Thank you, classmates. My adjunct, associate, and full professors are dedicated educators and amazing people who created excellent classroom experiences, such as an American government assignment to engage in the community led me to volunteer a semester of Saturdays at a local food pantry, working alongside those attempting to remedy food insecurity. An opportunity presented in World Regional Geography led me to begin joining 2 Mondays a month in the CoLab with international and immigrant students for English Conversation Hour. What a fun time all of us have had becoming more conversant culturally. In history classes, research projects led me to conduct phone and email interviews, and this was mostly during COVID closure, with Scott County commissioners, and we discussed economic conditions in rural and western Kansas. I also interviewed the family of a Presidential Citizens Medal recipient and members of a veterans organization in Birmingham, Alabama. I had the privilege of interviewing an 82-year-old lifelong resident of Kansas City, Kansas, who is the curator of the Underground Railroad Museum, and I heard his story, how construction of Interstate 635 in the 1970s literally and spiritually split his Quindaro community. I spent my history internship semester working with the Kansas Business Hall of Fame, housed in the School of Business at Emporia State University. And then several months later, I was invited to serve on the Hall's board of directors. So thank you, professors, for teaching me, challenging me, envisioning possibilities for me, which I could not see for myself because of self-doubt and inexperience. I am grateful. And to close, a few years ago, I was faced with making some tough decisions and facing some life changes. At that crossroads point, there were regrets and emotional challenges. To paraphrase a C.S. Lewis quote, I realized I could not go back and change beginnings, but I could start where I was to make different endings. So to be a 4.0 degree completer is a personal goal. However, I walk my academic journey to be present in the process, to gain knowledge and experiences which will grow me into a better family member, a better friend, and a better citizen, ready to serve wherever the path takes me. Thank you.
Any questions for Susan this evening?
Wow, that was touching. I'm actually speechless, but I love your quotes about the C.S. Lewis quote and the hopes and dreams can be ageless. And I love all the projects that you were able to do. Those are
great.
just great. I hope you write about them and find a way to share them more widely. What made you decide to major in history?
Well, as I shared with Dr. Bound, I'm a sixth-generation Kansan, so my family heritage goes way back in Kansas. Some of my family history is well known in Wyandotte County, so that was always a source of pride for me growing up. And my parents were really good about taking me out of school in grade school to go on, trips back east to the historical sites. So, yeah, I was just really primed for this, and I enjoy it. So,
Thank you
my
for sharing
passion.
that.
And I just have a passion to share history in a real accessible and easy to understand way, and so that's why the public history.
Mr. Trustee Musil.
Why Scott County and remind me where Scott County, Kansas
West
is?
Central.
I know it's west.
Way out west.
Way out
Scott City is in Scott County. It was just the way the assignment was presented to us.
It's southwest of Hayes, right?
Yeah, approximately north of Garden City, a little ways. So, yeah, it was just kind of a random choice, but it turned out to be a really interesting choice.
So your family history, though, is in the Wyandotte County
Wyandotte
area?
County.
Okay. And coming here with a 4.0, you need to stay because you raised the average IQ of the boardroom. So, thank you very much for your story.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Susan? Yes, ma'am. Madam Trustee.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I just wanted to compliment you on really having a thirst for all the possibilities and embracing every opportunity that you had. You're such a great example of lifelong learning and really seeking out. I mean, the list you just rambled through in that short amount of time was amazing. Like you said, I would love to have you write about it so I could read about those experiences. It's remarkable, and thank you for being such a great example of the fact that we serve all kinds of students all over the county, and that your experience have enriched your life. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have something, unless somebody else has something. Congratulations on UMKC. I went to KU undergrad and UMKC law. UMKC, as a matter of history, is one of only two handfuls of schools that have both a U.S. president and a Supreme Court justice having attended there. Harry did not graduate, but President Harry S. Truman had 2 years of attendance at night school for the old Kansas City
Is
School.
that right? I didn't know that.
With respect to Quindaro, I commend you for continuing your studies in a non-traditional manner. Both my parents did here. And I didn't know about the port of Quindaro until very recently, in the last 10 years, frankly, and what a role it played in the Underground Railroad. And with respect to keep learning, I just learned today that the Federal Reserve actually buys federal treasury securities. I didn't know they did that. I learned that on Morning Joe this morning, and I thought maybe they bought private securities. I didn't know, but they do indeed help manipulate that market. Finally, just yesterday I learned General Patton wanted to invade Russia.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea. And I go, wasn't he the crazy one? Somebody said, no, that was MacArthur. I said, oh, my bad. So history, there's so much there, and there's so much to know about our country and everything. I really do commend you for continuing learning, and good luck at UMKC.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.